All right. I hope you guys liked the last two segments. We talked about our Thursday night wrestling review among TNA and Ring of Honor heading toward their respective pay-per-views. And we also had our WWE SmackDown preview. Um, Hopefully y'all agree with me that Cody needs to step it up and really take it to the boss. Oh God, if he doesn't tonight, Cody. Dude, you need to get dirty, man. You need to get those hands dirty. You need to straight up I don't know, you need to do something. You can't just lay down. Maybe slash the Rock's tires or something to his car, so he can't go anywhere and be like, oh no, I have a flat. Mess with his mind like that. Like maybe he might think that you're gonna attack him, but instead, like he walks out of the event with four, I said four flat tires. Oh man. Oh, that's worse. How is he going to get to WrestleMania? How is he going to get to WrestleMania with no car? No, I'm just kidding. No, but maybe he should slash the spare too. Just to kind of be certain. And then he should slash all the tires in the city. I'm just kidding. No, I'm just goofing around. I'm not condoning any criminal activities like slashing people's tires, guys. Don't do that. Don't do that. Anyways, so I'm not a criminal, but this man that I'm about to talk about right now might be allegedly, allegedly. So, Vince McMahon's name is currently banned in WWE from saying it, from acknowledging it. Even they're even looking at past videos, and like I mentioned before, they've kind of blurred his face. They're trying to kind of erase him from, TKO's trying to erase him from everything from all the BS that's been surrounding the controversies of the McMahon slash WWE WWF era. So, all right, let's get on into it. This is obviously a TKO trying to distance themselves from McMahon, which is kind of smart. You kind of have WWE has recently merged with TKO, so you can't really have bad publicity like that. Like that's just not good. Like company wise, or just you know, just it's bad to the core of any company to kind of have somebody like it. It's kind of like a troubled employee, and you're like, man, like that guy's representing the company. That guy has our brand on his chest. Like sometimes it's just better to just kind of move on. Like you know what I mean? So yeah, after the bombshell lawsuit that alleged Vince McMahon was involved in sex trafficking and the abuse scandal, Vince stepped down and he actually sold most of his. I actually read a report that he recently sold next to all of his stock in TKO. Right now, I think it was like for $400 million. So honestly, I wouldn't be too mad selling, but with everything going on, I can imagine. It's time, man. It's time to step down. It's time to, right all your wrongs, man. It's time to just do whatever you can to just ensure a comfortable life for your family. Like, I don't know how he's gonna handle this case, and it is alleged and allegations, and Vince McMahon, he denies everything. But they have a lot of evidence, man, and I'm not condoning or condemning anybody. But I don't know. And then Vince's reputation with women in the past, it's just like it just doesn't look good. Um, so I don't know. A former WWE employee, Janelle Grant, and all the alleged stuff that she's been through. I don't know. That's tough. That's hard, man. That's just absolutely hard. It's kind of difficult to talk about on a podcast, to be honest. And I'm not going to get too graphic or too crazy with it. But so Grant alleged that McMahon coerced her into, defiling acts for with himself and just for other men as well. Um, Vince, like I said before, he's denied all allegations. This is a federal criminal investigation, guys. This is pretty serious, and I think the reason why like a lot of the McMahon family has kind of left everything kind of to Triple H. And you don't really see during Triple H's press conferences or promotions of TKO in the WWE. You don't really see his wife, Stephanie McMahon, by him. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's to that point where um, you kind of have to give the keys to the kingdom to Triple H here. Well, Paul, Lavisqua, but I don't know. I just right now is the perfect time for just the McMahons to just kiss WWE and wrestling goodbye. And it's hard. It's hard because the McMahon family has been involved with professional wrestling ever since the dawn of time, man. Like that, it's crazy. And McMahon obviously has a lot of kind of has like a lot of history. Like, I don't think wrestling fans could ever have Vince McMahon erased from their memory. Like, you know what I mean? But future WWE fans, maybe. But there's just so much stuff that happened with Vince, like Vince and the Stone Cold Steve Austin, Vince and the corporate, and then once when him and Triple H and DX formed together, and then him constantly having matches with his son Shane, feuding with DX again in 2017. Um, it's it's crazy, but Vince McMahon always kind of inserted himself into like the storyline just to kind of make the show better. And some things that he thought that would make the show better maybe wasn't ideal or appropriate, but at the time and considering the circumstances of the wrestling errors and kind of who watched what, like I said, I watched the Attitude Era, the Ruthless Aggression Era, and I saw how wrestling was back in the day, where there was blood, there was swearing, there was divas. They weren't women's wrestlers; they were considered divas, and people, old fans, old generations, they like that type of wrestling. As soon as wrestling turned into like more of a PG thing, some of them stopped watching it, others continued because they loved the business. But it's just like one of those things where it's crazy how all this is going down. But whatever happens, obviously I don't want wrestling to get hurt from it. But it's to the point where Vince McMahon should probably just cut his ties and just like, I don't know, it's time to retire, man. It's time to call it quits. So this lawsuit also included John Laurinaitis. John Laurinaitis, I believe, is the stepfather to the Bella twins. I could be wrong. So this whole scandal is affecting so many people. So many people are being brought out to the light here. It's absolutely bananas. It's crazy. Bananas. Um, Vince allegedly used Grant in negotiations with WWE superstars for their contracts. Brock Lesnar was later identified as one of the stars that kind of happened to. And like we have been expecting Brock Lesnar to make a comeback to WWE for such a long time, and with this happening, I doubt that he'll probably ever insert himself in the TKO operations again, which is crazy because he was a UFC fighter and then he was a WWE fighter, started WWF, but um so it's kind of sad to see kind of Brock leave on this kind of circumstances. And I don't know if this affects him or Vince's, standing in terms of like getting inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. Honestly, kind of think, if this allegations and this lawsuit kind of goes south, they can very much see those two kind of lose that call to, the Hall of Fame. So once again, it was according to Front Office Sports. Corporate officers that were involved was the WWE at the time CEO Nick Khan, COO Bloom, and also Stephanie McMahon. So you kind of have your daughter involved, and the daughter is married to right now the head of Triple H, and this could very much like start a new like era of wrestling because like you're not going to have any of those guys. And Triple H has been doing such a great job with newly acquired talents, storylines, backstage promos. It's just like he's has a very prestigious career of his own. He should be, he's going to be in the WWE Hall of Fame, hopefully. If not, if something doesn't randomly pop up that involves Triple H, which would be heartbreaking as a Triple H fan. Triple H is probably my second favorite wrestler of all time. First is Shawn Michaels, Triple H, The Undertaker, and then of course I liked Kurt Angle. But I know this could be pretty bad. And what kind of baffles me about all this, and throughout this whole thing, you haven't really heard anything from Shane McMahon. And I think Shane McMahon, I kind of feel like he kind of knows how his father is and kind of how he handles business and his employees and stuff like that. So it's one of those things where he's probably, behind the scenes giving Vince support, the family support stuff, some support. But I don't know. I think he's kind of just like keeping his hands out of it, laissez-faire, hands off. And honestly, I could probably say with confidence that if something goes down where McMahon family is completely out of the WWE, you can kind of understand why Shane McMahon wouldn't want to put his hands on wrestling, wouldn't want to continue his father's legacy, um, because of like so much tarnished relationship that the McMahon name kind of brought to professional wrestling. How many allegations and how many lawsuits were filed because of Vince, um, or allegations and stuff like that. But I don't know. I think it would be smart to kind of for Shane McMahon to kind of also kind of take a step away from wrestling and just I don't know retire, just quit, do something else. So yeah, pretty hard to go through. Like I said before, like you never really ideally want to like talk about this kind of stuff at the podcast. But I am your wrestling laureate, so you deserve the news and the update. It was hard for me. I might have grown an ulcer or two talking about this, but for your entertainment, anything. I'm just kidding. What we have to look forward to is our wrestling news roundup. I'm going to give you guys some wrestling some stories to go in through to the weekend, so you guys could, go into your weekend a little more educated on what's going on in the wrestling world. Don't go anywhere.